And welcome back, folks. Another edition of the Michigan Football Breakdown, focus on the defense with Vance Bedford. We ought to call him Nostradamus or Vance Nostras. I don't know what we need to call you, Vance, but you pick these games. I got to start out with that because Vance Bedford said Michigan. First, you said Michigan will win this game. A lot of people pick Michigan to win the game. Not that many people pick Michigan to win the game 28-24. And they lost and they won it 30-24, Van. So only 2 points off of Michigan's total. You got the victory. You knew exactly what Ohio State was going to put up, and that was not enough to win. Brother Vance, how are you doing, and how do you do it?
Man, hold on. I want to tell you how I do it. Yeah, hold on. Hear my music. I took Dion's music. Dion can't have this song. This is Van's song. Hey, hey, look what I'm holding up. What's that? Yeah, boy, hey, 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 hey. We coming, brother. We are coming. We are coming. We getting crunk
You
on these
people
guys.
in here, Vance. You people in here.
Oh my goodness. Hey,
Oh,
as I
man.
watched that game, it kind of played out like I thought it was going to play out. Okay, we ran a lot of roll coverage to 18, whether it was zone, we doubled number 18, where everybody else was man to man with a double on him. We invited Ohio State to run the football. They didn't figure that out to the third quarter. They had no idea what was going on. That we had a short box because we were playing coverage most of the time. In the third quarter, they had that long drive. They knew that we were doubling them 18. So they started running the football, and they had some creases in there. And what you saw for the first time this year, in my opinion, the defensive line got tired. They're not used to having 8, 9 play drives. And they couldn't substitute guys in. Because Ohio State did a couple things. They had some up-tempo. They did a bunch of FSL. Up-tempo and FSL has been an issue a year ago, and we hadn't seen much of it this year. Well, everything we've been talking about this season, Sam, we saw it in this ball game. We really did.
Yeah, so a couple of things really, really jumped out. You already touched on one of them about number 18. And I'll get to that coming up. But the first thing I want to get to is something I asked you about when we watched the Minnesota game. And remember, they were getting that split stretch on Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it took them about a quarter to tighten it up. But they were gashing them for a minute. And I remember I asked you, I said, Vance, Ohio State, do they have this? They got split stretch? You said, yes, Sam, they got it. Vance, they tried that. And clearly they were watching the tape. That was a part of the game plan. And Michigan did a good job of clamping down on that.
The biggest thing is that the quarterback for Ohio State, McCord, is not a runner. So you could call it RPO, run pass option, but there's no option part of it because the quarterback's not a runner. Run pass option means I can give, which is a dive. The receiver is the pitch, and the quarterback take it to the corner. This quarterback was play action pass and stayed in the pocket. If he was a runner, we could have some issues. The guy from Minnesota could run it a little bit, so he opened things up. They run a true run pass option. This is play action, RO. I mean, so there was no run by the quarterback. And the quarterback again, I don't blame the kid. I blame the coach, the quarterback coach. You know what I'm saying, on the interception.
Mhm.
Because yeah, we talked about this 2 weeks ago. When you run a run pass option, the quarterback has to look at what the linebacker or the nickel back who's ever in that area. If he pulls the trigger, you throw it. If he stays, you get it. Okay. But the quarterback had time. He go to the line of scrimmage, and I see a safety outside the hash. That's an indicator he's over the top. If he's over the top, it's a good chance I'm going to have a cloud corner. Now, did he know the guy was going to be inside? I don't know that. He should have thrown the football away. He didn't. So it led to a big play by Michigan, by Will Johnson, put the ball on the 5-yard line, 7 points, turned the game around. It really did.
Yeah, man. You saw a huge momentum play. They did a really, really, really good job of limiting the damage of number 18, Marvin Harrison Jr. And I say that, and the man had 5 receptions for 118 yards, Vance, and a touchdown.
But two of those, out of 118, two of those plays had to be probably 60 yards of it, maybe
Mm-hmm.
more than that. And those plays didn't really hurt us because one was right before the half, and they were backed up on their own 3 yard line. They got in field goal range, and Sharon Moore did a great job. The 4th and 2, he waited till the last minute to call the timeout. Remember the kicker stroked it, it went through,
Mm-hmm.
come back out, he missed it. That was a great timeout. Great coaching by Sharon to use his timeouts. But that big play on that particular 2 plays before that by 18, it paid no dividend. It came up empty. So it didn't hurt us at all.
Yeah, they gave him a little. They kind of gave. I don't know if they kind of confused the coverage, or if there was a bust, or if they just caught Michigan in a. They just caught the right play against what Michigan had on the defensive call. But what do you say? Free releases, Vance?
Well, what happened on that particular play, they went to a tandem split. In other words, you got one receiver stacked behind the other. So instead, Will walking up and jamming 18, he stepped outside. So when he did that, what 18 had was a free release. Then he went right back outside. He was even with Will. Then he left him ball right there because the safety was getting threatened by the other receiver running a post pattern at him. He couldn't come out to help him out. So again, in that situation right there, if the first guy on the tandem split is on the ball, you come up and press that guy because he's a vertical guy. If he goes shallow, the guy standing behind him is right in your face. So next time in coaching, I would tell Will, walk up. If he's on the ball, press him right now. Don't let him go vertical. You destroy that play right there.
Yeah, and so watching this game, I felt like you had one coach who knows who they are, knows what his players can do, what their limitations are. This JJ clearly banged up. They didn't run him one time. He had the improv runs, Vance, and if
Yeah.
you want to talk about the offense, you can do that too. But you know, really took advantage of the matchups on the inside with the tight ends, right? Did a great job with that. Jake made it a point to get JJ in rhythm, had great balance. And then the aggression, the aggression on fourth down, right? So he was 3 for 3 on fourth down. You mentioned the timeout before the field goal attempt at the end, and then the halfback pass. I mean, you can point out some very key calls and the wedge pass on fourth down that he caught. And I'm looking over at Ryan Day and Vance. I mean, yeah, he ran it some. They look like a tougher team, but just it's all relative. I'm just looking at late in the game when Will goes out, when Will is out of the game, how they wasn't throwing it up to Marvin Harrison Jr. every play.
You
I
couldn't.
don't know.
You couldn't. Sam, they're still rolling up. They still are rolling up on him. He had no vertical releases. I mean, and to be honest, my man Lil Mike did just as good a job as Will did because he has such great feet. He got in the way. So he's still either rolling to quarter, half, and the half to his side, or they were doubling him. They took him out of the mix. They rolled the 3 cloud. They didn't let him go vertical. I mean, so to me is that what they didn't do, Ohio State made no adjustments. I'm being honest with you. They made no adjustments to help out number 18. Okay, they went 3-by-1. Like the first time in the red zone, 3-by-1 and drive concept, the one that Barrett almost intercepted. I don't know if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And they come back the second time they get a touchdown, I think, in the third quarter. Same concept, a little different coverage. And they throw the same route and goes for a touchdown. In both those situations, Colston, the linebacker, had to take number 18. The first time the quarterback went deep, Barrett made a play. They come back in the third quarter, almost identical play. Colston didn't see him fast enough. 18 catch the ball for a touchdown. So they had some things, but he wasn't smart enough to go back to the things that were working. I'm just being honest. And again, I work with Urban Meyer too. And Urban Meyer's philosophy was this: I'm going to be in 3-by-1 on first and second down. So the reason why I'm going to be in 3-by-1 because you have to show your hand coverage-wise. This cat here is in 2-by-2. You could disguise to the birds. Come on. He helped us out. Urban had a philosophy which, as a defensive coach, he's right. You're in 3-by-1, it gives you some issues. And my man said, okay, he's going to do what he's going to do. He got beat again 3 times in a row. It's like you're going to Vegas and you're betting, just bet against Ryan Day. You got a chance to win. Let's say he got a hard 4. He's going to throw 7. He's going to crap out. He can't help himself. He's too smart for his own good.
Man, Vash, you would think I've been talking to you this whole time. You would think I kind of learned some things from Vance Bedford with my commentary. You would think, right? I'm just saying, this stuff sounds familiar to anybody who listened to me after the game. You heard a lot of this stuff. But anyway, yeah, adjustments. The ability to create matchups, or if all else fails, I mean, if you aren't able to free him up. And this is what was so amazing to me. You said they couldn't get him deep, man. There was no reason for him to be able to catch that ball when he got the free release.
Yeah.
So Will made a heads up play. Will said, okay, this dude, he's going, if I don't tackle him, he's going to catch a football, maybe a touch. I got to tackle him right now.
It
Give
would
me
have
the
been a
PI.
touchdown. Yeah.
And he caught the ball anyway, man. With one hand, the man caught the ball anyway. So if it's me, I'm like, okay, he's covered, but he's not. This dude is unbelievable. Like, they've had some great receivers at Ohio State. Garrett Wilson, ball player. Chris Olave, outstanding. Jackson Smith and Jigba. But Chris Sammy, they've had dudes. I'm not hating on any of those guys, but this dude is different, Vance. If he had
All
him
thing,
back,
Sam, I'm going to say this to you. Some of those other guys were faster. This guy is an excellent route runner, great body control, great hands. He's bigger. He can make the difficult catch. And the biggest thing is, can he run by you? In the NFL now, everybody can run. It's a whole different ball game. That's why certain guys, the transition from college to the NFL is different. But to me, remember, it's another play that he caught on Will. He was in the slot.
mm-hmm.
Will was outside press. He beat Will technique, made another great play. But to me, if I were Ryan Day, we said this last week getting ready for Ohio State game, 18 would have been in the slot the whole ball game. After the first quarter, I saw what they were doing to me. 18, you're in the slot for the rest of the ball game. Or I'm going to have a stack split where it looks like it's a slot. I'm not going to allow for them to roll up. I'm going to make sure either the linebacker has to adjust to you or the nickelback. I'm getting Will Johnson off of it. If Will Johnson comes in the slot, I know they're man-to-man, so I can go anywhere with the football because I got straight out man-to-man. So there's ways that as a coach, as the offensive coordinator, and the guy in the press box, we have in the press box, those are the adjustments they should have made. And Sam, they never did. Sharon made adjustments to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Day did not make adjustments. His only adjustment in the third quarter, he ran the football. Otherwise than that, he said, we're Ohio State. We're going to do what Ohio State does. And he lost another game because of it. Now, I read Maurice Claret's article. Okay, talking about they need to get rid of the guy. Mm. But my question is, who are you going to hire? So you fire somebody, who are you going to hire to take the man's place? How many games? He's 56-7, whatever it is. 3 losses to Michigan. Who in the world are you going to hire to replace that guy? That's an idiotic comment. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. It's the dumbest comment I've ever seen. Unless you got somebody as good or better, then shut up. Shut up. Ryan Day, keep doing what you're doing. One of these days, you'll find a way to win. Right now, it's just not this day. It's you 0-3. And you there's no way you can get into the college football playoff this year. You got no way.
So here's what I think, or far be it for me to speak up for a Buckeye Vance. But I think what he's saying is, listen, we got a Ferrari here. Anybody you put in a Ferrari is going to be able to beat a Focus or well, give me another Ford car out there because Ford, they're a happy sponsor. A Ford
Pinto,
Edge,
a Pinto.
Anybody you put in the steering wheel of the Ferrari is gonna be able to beat those. So he said, man, we could get anybody, and we always gonna get players. We get anybody to come in here and beat Purdue, to beat Michigan State, hell, to beat James Franklin. We could be out talent those teams. But now that Michigan is about it, man, we need somebody who is not going to get out-coached by the backup coach. And I don't say that to disparage Sharon Moore, because I think that I think the world of Sharon. I think Sharon is a star in the making. But the point is, Ryan Day is not supposed to get out-coached by Sharon Moore. And he got
they hit the wrong gas pedal too fast, they crashed that Ferrari. So you got to be careful who you put in that car seat. And all of a sudden, the bottom falls out. Remember, I was there in the 90s, and I was there for 4 years. We beat Ohio State 3 years now. And eventually got that guy fired.
Right.
So just think so. Be careful about who you
But
think
then
you
they
go out
got
and get.
that guy fired. They went and got Jim Tressel. And Jim Tressel was like,
And
who
he,
can
and he
go?
had great success, and they had to push him out because of some off the field issues. They got Urban Meyer. Had to push him out because of what?
Off the field
issues. So again, you had guys have success, but off the field issues got them all.
I think they'll live with that. I think they'll live with the off the field. So here's a better way to put it. See, Michigan has an identity, okay, that Jim Harbaugh has set. And so Sharon, he came in and gave his little spin on it, but they are who they are. They are true to it. There's a blueprint, he follows it, right? Now, Urban Meyer had a blueprint.
Yes, he did.
Right? Urban Meyer, say what you want about what he did off the field. I think the dude is a little bit of a fugazi when it comes to being an analyst because he gives you all kind of reckless stuff about Michigan. But let's set that aside. Let's also set aside he got to Florida, they had talent. He got to Utah, they had Alex Smith. He got to Ohio State, they had a boatload of NFL guys. But he coached all those teams better than the guy he took over for. So I'm going to give the man his credit.
But
so
you know what he did, though? Sam, I work with Urban. He allowed his coaches to coach, and he listened. He had the game plan. On offense, they're going to run the football. So everybody who was his offensive coordinator, Urban was sitting at meetings with those guys, but it was their spin on his offense. That's why he had success every place he's been. Now Ryan Day has put his spin, which is totally different from Urban. Last year, what did I say about my man Ryan Day? I say he's a finesse football coach, and we're going to beat him because he's soft. Remember I said that last year? And why did we win? Because they were a finesse football coach, and we physically took him out to the wheelchair and said, "Don't come out here until I tell you to." And that's what we did. Now, this year, he decided to be a little bit more physical. You know why? Because he didn't have a first-round pick of quarterback. So he had to find another way to win, which in essence made him a better coach. But at the end of the day, he just couldn't stick with that. Eventually, he had to go back and do what he always do. He had to go back and be soft. And when he did that, boy, party was on. We got crunk, is all I got to tell you. We had to crunk that thing up, baby. That's all I got to tell you.
But this is Maurice Claret's point. Like, okay, if you're going to come in and do it your way, it better work.
That's true.
It better work. Like, I mean, you hadn't been a head coach before you got this job. You right place, right time. You get the job. You come in, you hire these dudes, you fire everybody, and it's not working when the blueprint was there. It's like Kim Kardashian. She got the blueprint, right? Khloe comes in. She said, I see what Kim did. I'm going to go get me a tape. I'm going to go get me an NBA player. I got the blueprint. I'm going to follow it just like Kim. And Khloe doing all right. She not trying to reinvent the wheel. She just trying to do what Kim did. And that's what they're telling Ryan Day to do. Just do what Kim did, right? Just follow Urban's blueprint. That's all you got to do.
It's not in his DNA. It's not in his. You can't do something that you're not. You just can't. I look at Charles Woodson. Charles Woodson, I still know. I'm glad Will Johnson won his number. Don't get me wrong. That number should be retired. So I'm making my point for Charles Woodson, number 2, to be retired. The only defensive player to win a Heisman Trophy. Period. Retire that number. I never told anybody to go be like Charles Woodson. He's a different cat. I say, be the best you can be. You know, you look at the guys I had. Will Peterson started in the NFL for 7 years at corner. James Whitley. I said, don't be Charles Woodson. I don't want anybody to compare to that guy. He's a different creature. He's from Mars. That's where Woodson's from. Okay, so Ryan Day, you learn from those guys, from Urban Meyer, but you can't be Urban Meyer. Put some of that in your DNA. Well, he didn't put any of it in his DNA.
Yeah, I hear you.
So your DNA for means don't know. That's what that means. Don't know. I'm sorry. That's all that means.
And that's kind of my point. I mean, hey, man, Khloe ain't never going to beat Kim. Ain't never going to beat Kim. Right? Just take a few of what she does, few things that she does, and apply it yourself. Don't try to reinvent the whole thing. like she didn't, like she's not successful. I mean, man, she went out there, she got it done. So if you gonna do it your way, and this is the problem, not that I'm complaining about it, I love it. I love Ryan Day. I'm a Ryan Day fan. Can you tell how much of a Ryan Day fan I am?
Oh, I heard after the game how much of a fan you are of Ryan Bell. Oh
I'm
my
a Ryan
goodness.
Day fan. I want Ryan Day to stay in Columbus forever. But if I'm gonna be honest about it, what I see going on, I see a dude that's getting out coached, and I don't see it changing anytime soon. I mean, I think Sharon Moore coached circles around the dude,
He
right?
did.
And when it got in the fourth quarter, when it's winning time, and you got to make the moves, you got to make the calls to get things together. He couldn't dial up what he needed to dial up to get his team across the finish line when they had every advantage coming in this game, other than they were on the road.
You
But
know what? And
everything else,
another advantage we had, our special teams are better than his. That punter we had, Sam, that punter and the field goal kicker, we don't talk about those guys enough.
you're right.
That was a huge difference in the game. Just think, he put the ball down to the 2 and 3 yard line a couple of times. Your field goal come in there and stroke it like there's nothing, no pressure at all. I mean, the difference in the game also, our special teams is better than their special teams. It gave us an upper hand. It really did.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they go what, 1 for 2
Two,
from
yes.
and field goals. Michigan goes 3 for 3. That's huge.
Difference in the game.
Punter, huge. Went out there and got it done, man. So got to give them a ton of credit, folks. If you have questions for Vance, put them in the chat. I'll put the prompt in there right now. If you have questions for Coach Bedford, get them in now. We got some all Big Ten members. I don't know if you saw the news, Vance, that um, one Mr. Will Johnson went out there and is getting some respect. Mason Graham, Will Johnson, and Mike Sainristle all made all Big Ten first team defense. What about that, Vance? Mason Graham, Mikey Sainristle, your man Lil Mike, and Will Johnson.
I'm not surprised. It should have more than that. What about my man Barrett?
Let me see. I think let me get the full list for you, Vance, as we sitting here live. All right. So as I pull up the list as we speak, you got second team honors for Junior Colson and Chris Jenkins. Mike Barrett and Rob Moore were third team on the coaches, and they were both honorable mention for the media.
Okay. I don't know what they be saying. I saw something totally different. Who voted for that thing again? The media or the coaches?
The coaches gave him third team, gave Mike Barrett third team. The media gave him honorable mention.
Well, I tell you what, that's why I don't coach, because I call them what I want to. They dumb as rocks. That's all I got to say. Yeah, they voted that thing. Wow. Woo.
Yeah. So, hey, they one of those things where I think some of this is reputation coming into the season. I think some guys start with a little bit more of a platform, and then they play from that pedestal. Whereas Mike Barrett, I don't know how much people were talking about Mike before the season, but they certainly should have been. And I think he
Yeah.
had an all Big Ten caliber year for sure.
Coaches should know better. Media, they don't know, but coaches, they see all the video. They should have a better feel and a better answer for it. Anybody that played defense as well as Michigan's played defense this year, they should have at least 4, maybe 5 guys on first team. On second team, same thing. So something's missing with that vote as far as must be some resentment by other coaches towards Michigan to vote those kids out. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, you know what? We're going to find out in what the college football world, how resentful they are with this Broyles Award. Because there's some worthy coaches. I think Phil Parker's a terrific coach.
He really is.
I think he's a terrific coach. If I'm Phil Parker, if they don't get whatever happens with Kirk Ferentz, like if Iowa isn't telling Phil Parker you're the next guy, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Because you can't tell me Phil Parker hasn't had opportunities to go elsewhere with how well that man coaches, right?
Yeah.
As much respect as I have for the job that he's done at Iowa, and as tough as I think his defense is still going to be, even without Cooper DeJean over there, you can't tell me he's done a better job than Sharon Moore, Vance. Who's
Sharon,
ever got a job
offensive
this
line coach. He offensive line coach, offensive coordinator, and head football coach. He was wearing 3 hats. Parker's only wearing 1 hat. To me, it's not close. It really isn't. I mean, but again, I'm not voting. Sharon Moore, for a guy to go into Penn State, to go into Maryland. I mean, think about that. So he has to wear all those hats. So he's not just an offensive coordinator, offensive line coach. He's the head coach. He got to oversee special teams. He got to see 4th down situations. Do all those type of things. To me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, like I said, we're gonna find out. Like Tyler W said, prepare for Sharon to be snubbed. I mean,
No. I'm not buying it.
you think
I'm
they're gonna
not
give it to him?
that you have to. I mean, well, I keep talking about common sense, not common. So there are a lot of thieves out there. So you know what? Anything is possible. I wouldn't be surprised, but he should get it. But
Yeah, he
Parker
should.
has done a great job at Iowa. You're right about that. He's done a great job.
Yeah, I want to have you talk about his defense here in a minute,
Ooh.
and then we'll get to the questions. Before we do that, though, folks, I got to let you know that if you are looking for a way to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship, I got a way. I got a way for you. See, Devin Gardner, he's become a bit of a high maintenance dude. I don't know if y'all know that about DG. A little bit of a high maintenance dude, right? You got to have he got a rider. Like he comes in, you got to have his drinks ready. They got to be lined up in a certain row. I mean, that's just how it is. Got to have a certain temperature. It can't be 75. It can't be 77. It got to be 76 on the dot for DG, right? That's just how it is. So he didn't want to drive to Indianapolis. That's cool. He said, "Hey, I'm just going to get a bus to take me. And I'm not going to get any bus to take me. I'm gonna get the golden limo bus statement. Golden limo say, okay, we'll drive you down there. That's not a problem, right? Just like we drive the Michigan football team wherever they need to go in our luxury motor coaches. But Devin, we can't give you the bus all to yourself. I mean, we got to put other people on the bus. Will you let us put other people on the bus? And Devin said, okay, we can put other people on the bus. And there it was born, the Devin Gardner Big Ten Championship Bus Tour. Gonna be leaving the Ann Arbor area Saturday morning, going down to Indianapolis, noon arrival or thereabouts. Gives you plenty of time to take in all of the festivities in downtown Indianapolis leading up to the game, up to and including our pregame show at the Slippery Noodle from 4 until 7. The Key Bank countdown to kickoff. We're gonna have a great time. If you ever been to our pregame show, you know how we do it. If you've been to the Slippery Noodle the last couple of years, it's been live at 5, as Vance would say. Michigan fans everywhere. We take over the whole bar. It's the most famous bar in Indianapolis, and we take the whole place over. The line is around the corner, starting about an hour away from before game time. So fantastic opportunity there, and other places to go downtown Indy. Plenty of time to enjoy that. You go to the game. After the game, you get back on the bus. You come right back. And going down and coming back, you got DG right there coaching you up. He said, man, I'm gonna bring a grease board. I'm gonna be teaching people football. I'm gonna be talking about quarterback play the whole way. People want to know, yeah, you got some questions for me? I answer the questions. You want to take pictures with me? I'll take the pictures. You want autographs? I'll sign the autographs. You want me to break down the different quarterbacks across the college football? I'll do that too. Whatever you want DG to do, on the way and on the way back, he has you covered. And you're gonna do it in luxury with our friends at Golden Limo. So if you want to get on the bus with Golden Limo and Devin Gardner, go to goldenlimo.com. Now there are only 35 spots on his bus. All right. There is another bus. They're going to be taking 2. There's another bus that DG obviously can't ride both. So the other bus is going to be a little cheaper to get on because DG isn't on it, but it's going the same place at the same time, get you there in the same kind of luxury. You just don't have DG on that bus. So giving you options, one with DG, one that has a more affordable price. However you want to get it, go to goldenlimo.com right now and get on the bus. Not a train this time, Vance. Get
Hey,
on.
just don't tell them. Don't wear his coming to America outfit. Tell them leave that at home. Hey, we know coming to America. Let that go.
Vance, he can't help himself, man.
Oh my goodness.
He can't help himself, Vance. You gotta understand. The man, if it's not 76 degrees, he has a problem. So this is what you got to know about him. We got one person in here said they already bought a ticket on the Devin Gardner bus. So you can do so as well. Here it is. Sean Stewart said, just bought my golden limo ticket. Sam, so Sean, oh boy, you're gonna have a great time with DG and your fellow Michigan fans. This is gonna be a party. Might as well call it a party bus, amazing blue party bus. I'm gonna throw the link in here for people who want to go right here from this website, or from the chat. You can click on the link and go ahead and get your bus ticket right now. And I'm throwing it in there as we speak. And then I also put it in the comment section for you, so you can get it there as well. So there it is for those of you in the chat. I'll put it in the comments and the description. In the meantime, and that's the goldenlimo.com is the website, all right, for the bus tour. Now let's start getting to the questions for Vance. So Vance, there was a holding call. This one is from Money is Silver. He says, was the holding call on Mason Graham a bad call or just complete nonsense? That was indicative. You look at the early, series, early drives for Ohio State. It seemed like they were helped by penalties, by costly penalties to Michigan.
Some of them were on that particular play. He reached out and grabbed the guy because Mason got up and thought he was holding against them.
He did.
But as he was going down, he reached out. So I don't think the officials saw the whole picture. He saw him reaching out, flag came out. I mean, so it's a subjective call, and it just went against us at that particular time. I've seen those sometimes, but rarely do you see that call against a defensive lineman, but it does happen every blue moon.
All right. So here's a question from Michael Kirkland. He said, Vance, the Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown was the third TD we given up on that same crossing play. Let me know if I'm wrong. Thanks, Vance.
It wasn't that particular play, but I talked about this earlier. I think it was in the second quarter. They had the same play. In that particular time, Barrett made the play on the tight end. They came back in the third quarter on a long drive and ran the same play. Colston, on the previous play, was in position. This time, Colston didn't see it. It was the same identical formation. Colston didn't see it. He got beat by 18 going across, touchdown. So they ran that play a couple of times, and they scored on the second time they ran it.
All right, let's go back to the questions for Vance. All right, this one from Tyler W. says, hey, Vance, how do we bottle up Trevion when he's been getting loose these past few weeks?
When he tried to bounce it outside, we had linebackers in position or secondary in position to make a play. And there were very few open gaps inside. So we did a great job of just cupping him, containing him, eliminate the big plays. His biggest play probably came on a check down. Check down over the middle, but again, against Notre Dame, that went for like 60 yards. Against us, it went for 10. So we did a great job of keeping them inside and in front. And the thing we've been talking about all season long, great pursuit by the overall defense. That's how you eliminate a lot of those plays.
All right, let's go back to the questions for Vance. People want to know, a few different people want to know what happened on that holding call with Mason Graham. You already addressed that one. Mark T wants to know, Vance, do you think Herbs choreographed that second half drive where they had a 12-play drive, last 8 plays were runs, they went 75 yards and heavy runs? Herbs was hinting at something, and I think they purposefully created it for the second half. Do you think there's something to that?
No, that's a major violation. Ohio State, they don't have violations. Urban Meyer doesn't believe in cheating that way. So, I can't buy that. I just think they finally realized that the box was light. In other words, we were trying to take away 18. So the run game was there because they were shorting the box. So Urban's not doing something like that. I know that for a fact. I work for Urban. He won't do anything like
that. All right. I'm sure you guys can pick up on the sarcasm. Let's go ahead.
No, I wouldn't be that way. Look at that, Sam. I wouldn't be that way.
Come on, man. You know that dude need help. And that's the only place you can get it from. All right. Christopher Robbins wants to know, Coach Vance, can we handle the Hawkeye offense if Will Johnson is out? Vance, I think
man, it's going to be tough because they don't come in 22 personnel like they did last year and try to throw a corner route with a tight end in the flat. So just think about this. Nebraska should have had these guys beat. And
Yeah.
we know Nebraska, they gotten better since we played them. But the quarterback throws the interception with a minute to go in the game to give these people a chance to kick a field goal. We're going to win the game. Now, it might be closer than what people expect because Phil Parker, they play great defense there. So we have to earn everything we're going to get. We need some takeaways in this ball game. We get up early by 14 points, the game going to be over early. But if we let it stay close, it could be a battle. But now we're fine with our will. We
Hey,
always put Mikey back at corner. We're in good shape. 18 comes in the nickel back. They don't run a lot of 11 personnel. They're going to see how physical we are. They're going to get in 22 and 12 personnel, try to knock us off the football.
yeah, blank name said same risk of laying out. Trevion Henderson was my favorite player of the game. Jay Marion said, Vance, your reaction when Lil Mike and laid out, and then of course you had Will Johnson, you had a couple hits, but the little Mike hit on Trevion Henderson. What was your reaction to that
Man, I was jumping up and down. I was saying, no, Mike, let him catch the football because the clock can run out.
one?
But I was concerned that he might get a flag on that play because he was close to leaving his feet, but he hit him with his shoulder pad in the chest. So that was a big time hit. But it was another big hit by Lil Mike. They gave a tackle of somebody else's run. He came up there at all 185 pounds soaking wet, and he crushed the guy. I put this on Twitter. Mikey is my defensive MVP for Michigan this season.
Yeah, I agree.
All he's done, how he has played, and a lot of guys have played outstanding football. They really have. But Lil Mike, he has had a tremendous season. If he doesn't get it, I don't know where else to get it. Really
No,
don't.
you're absolutely right. I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I misspoke. Not Will Johnson, but the hit that Quentin Johnson made. That was a beautiful hit, and it wasn't target. You wonder when a guy is squaring the dude up
That was on
like
that deep
that.
ball.
Yeah, he's squaring the dude up like that to get a clean hit and to make it not be a defensive player hit at the same time. I mean, they make it hard on DBs, man.
They do, but you know what? I don't give the coaches credit for that because you have to teach guys how to tackle in those particular situations. Some guys, they never get it. So our defensive players are very disciplined kids. They stay away from the head. They don't leave their feet, and they run through guys. So most of the time, the officials won't call it. If you leave your feet and lower your head, it's automatic call. So in both those situations, neither guy lowered their head, neither guy left his feet. They ran through guys. Therefore, no call. Great job, great coaching, and they took it to the field.
You sort of touched on this next question, but I like getting questions from Nolly and ask such great questions all the time. So I want to reward that. Excuse me. I want to reward that. The drive, the 12-play drive, 75 yards, last 8 plays, runs. What happened on that drive, Vance, where Ohio State was able to run it straight down our throat? I was shocked to see Ohio State drive that way. And did our defense adjust after that, or did Ohio State just go away from it?
Ohio State went away from it. And that particular drive, they were in 12 personnel. You saw some FSL. They ran a bunch of plays into the boundary. And our defensive line used to have an 8, 9 play drive. So they got a little bit tired towards the end. So they had 2 runs. One for about 10 yards right up the middle. The next play went for a touchdown because I think we had a stun on and somebody went in the wrong gap. Nobody was there. But at the end of the day, we just got tired. They were in FSL. They just started pounding us. And we just got tired. And that's just as simple as that. And he never went back to it. They got behind, so they never went back to it.
So I'm curious. You kind of touched on this question last week. This is to just talk coaching philosophy, not to single a player out. There was the drive there early where they attacked number 30, Jimmy Rolder. He missed the tackle. I believe it was on Trevion. Might have been on. I can't remember who it was. Missed the tackle, and then they attacked him down the seam. Right, and after that play, after the second play, they put Mike Barrett back in, and there were all kind of people say, "Why was Mike Barrett out the game?" And I'm thinking, well, I mean, man, does he have to get a breathe? He got to get a breather sometime. I mean, how did you handle substitutions in the front 7, Vance? You said you didn't sub your DBs.
No, they didn't. But they don't either. But again, D line, if you have enough talent with a drop off is not very much, rotate in there. For a linebacker like Barrett or guys who've been a little nicked up, you try to get guys in. But on that particular play, talking about a deep pass play, Do you know we had lightning on? We had run lightning 3 times prior to that. That was a check. They checked to that play. They started on the sideline with short of hand, went tight end vertical. That kid did it. He did a great job. It was a good throw, good catch. He was in a tough position because the corner to that side technically is a half field guy. So you put a linebacker in that situation. Imagine putting a linebacker on Loveland. You know, I'm a fan of Loveland. You already know that. Loveland going to win that battle 9 out of 10 times. Well, I said going to that game, the tight ends are pretty good. I said that. And that particular play just showed up that way.
All right, let's go back to the questions for Vance. Van, this one comes from Lamont D. Chandler. Vance, basically, he wants
to. It's realistic. First of all, that's not overlook Iowa. Don't do that. That'd be a big mistake. I think a lot of fans think we're going to go into this game and we're going to beat them 35-7. That's not going to happen because they play too good a defense. And they play ball control and offense. But we are going to be out probably by 17 points. It's going to be closer than what you think. The biggest thing is who do you get in the first round? Okay. I think your boy Ron English at Louisville might be Florida State.
I think so too. Yeah, absolutely. Man,
he don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, he's going to blitz the hell out
that guy. Football. And I look at, don't be surprised if Bama somehow finds a way to beat Georgia. Bama should have lost to Auburn. How you rush one guy? Auburn rushed one guy, not two. They rushed one guy. I'm not blaming the defensive back. How the heck you rush one guy? That's idiotic. That's a whole different story. Don't get me started. the thing about it is somehow if Alabama beats Georgia, okay, it's a good chance Alabama and Georgia are both in the college football playoffs. Everybody talking about Texas. Well, people are going to look at, here's a team who beat the number one team in the country. So therefore, they jumping everybody, no matter whether Texas beat them in Tuscaloosa or not. So you got to be careful of that. And I think Oregon's going to beat Washington. And this is why. And I think this is Ryan Day. Ryan Day saw what the first time Oregon played Washington. He went for it several times on fourth down, didn't get it. It cost him the game, to be honest. He goes for it on 4th and 4, not 4th and 1. Didn't get it. Okay, so to me, that wasn't very smart. And he made comments after the game, after that game. Yeah, he did. They should have beaten Washington. Then you look at the guy at San Diego State, the head coach with the Chargers. He does the most idiotic things you can ever do. He go on 4th down on his own 30-yard line. So I'm going back to Ryan Day. Ryan Day probably saw those things, so he played conservative not to lose, and he lost. Jerome Moore looked at those things, so these guys are dumb. It's 4th and 4. I'm not going for it on 4th and 4. But it's 4th and 1. It's 4th and a foot. I believe in my offensive line and my back. So at the end of the day, who we play in the first round is key. We hadn't seen an offense like Oregon. They and they really up tempo. They don't mess around, and they got an athletic quarterback. Okay, Alabama is not the Alabama of 2 and 3 years ago. They don't have a first round pick or wide receiver. Quarterback really good. We got to contain that cat. And Georgia is not the Georgia last year either. So I think our chances are pretty good because you know what I'm saying? I'm counting on seeing you in Houston, Texas.
Yes, sir.
I already bought my ticket. I leave here on the 4th, so I get there in the middle of the week. So, brother, we can go hang out.
Oh, come on, man.
Game party. See, that's why I said we're going to win because I got to see Sam live at 5 and 8 times.
Listen. Hey, book this. Like y'all, I already told y'all, book the get on Devin Gardner's bus. But let me let y'all know something. If Michigan is in the national championship in Houston, we having a party. All right? Just understand. The best time I've had covering Michigan was the basketball run in 2013. Man, when I say we had so much fun. When I say we had so much, oh my God. I mean, all the stuff we and one of the most fun things we did was we went and took over a bar downtown Atlanta. All these Michigan people, all these listeners to the show, subscribers to the site. It was unbelievable. And we went and boxed all the Louisville people out. It was unbelievable. We are going to recreate that experience in Houston.
I'll be right in the middle of it.
Hey man, I got all kind of H-Town people saying, Sam, if you come, it's hey, I got you. Sam, if you come, I got you. And if they got me, then they got we. It's gonna be all of us. All right, just so y'all know. It's gonna be old if it's in Houston. Just so you know. So get ready to party, y'all. Hope to see y'all down there. Hope to see you in Indy too, by the way. Vance, want to get back to the questions. And this one is interesting. Rosemary Hayes. Hi, Rosemary. How you doing? Said Vance, do you think the Wolverines are just as good or better than the 1997 championship team? Now pause for a second, Vance. Because a guy guy you talked to.
Charles Woodson.
Oh, no, not that guy. No, another guy guy that you talks to Singletary a lot. I'm speaking in vague terms because I haven't asked him if I could use his name in a quote. It's not controversial, but to say that this team is better than 2017, well, you probably gonna have a lot of 97 dudes who be like, hey man, what you talking about? Right? Well, he was on the 97 team, though. He was on the 97 team, and he said he absolutely thinks this is the best Michigan team that he's seen. And I'm gonna read to you why as I pull up his text. You talk to him about it.
Don't worry, I will.
Right. So I won't tell nobody else. But I'll tell you, Vance. But he said, in my opinion, this is the best football team in Michigan's history. Despite immense pressure and distractions, they remained steadfast and overcame adversity, which is beyond impressive and deserves acknowledgement. He thinks this is the best. And he was on the 2017. And he played with Charles Woodson, who is the best football player I've ever seen with my two eyes. And so, but he said this team, with everything they had to overcome, he thinks this is the best Michigan team he's seen. What say you, Vance?
From that standpoint, he made some valid points. But I'll put it to you like this. There were, I believe, 3 first-rounders in the offensive line and 2 second-rounders in the offensive line. Anthony Thomas, second-round pick. David Terrell, first-round pick. Brian Greasy, third-round pick. Tom Brady, backup. On defense, you had 2 linebackers, Johanny Jones and Aaron Gold, about 9 years in the league. Glenn Steele, about 9 years in the league. That's starters, not just guys. William Peterson, 7-year starter for the New York Giants. Talent-wise, that team was probably more talented. But from what Singletary just said, I give him my props. He put some things on point. But talent-wise, they don't have the talent that 97
Let me be
team.
clear. It wasn't Singletary. I said it was Singletary's man, Singletary's boy. So
James Hall.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that, Vance.
Well, 2 weeks ago, both of them cats called me, and we talking for 40 minutes. And I forgot. And James Hall was a free agent who's played about 7 years in the league. So you got to understand. I don't know who Singletary run with.
I wouldn't ask you to say it on the
You know what I call James Hall? I nicknamed him weird initially. I call him Tennessee. You know what I call him Tennessee? He always wore arms. So his nickname was Tennessee. I mean, so I already know. So the points he made valid points about the mental toughness that they had. That team in Michigan knew how to finish things. So now, to make that statement, if they finish this thing, I'll say they even, but I can't say they were better. I said they're just as good. But, it's hard for me because I was there with them cats. How am I going to say somebody better than me? Really?
My man, Vance. Hey, my man, Vance. One of a kind, brother. One of a kind.
Hey, Sam, hold on, Sam. What's that, Sam? You see the glitter? Now they get one of them. Okay, get one of them, Sam. Get one of them. Okay, I'm just saying.
All right, let's get back to the questions. Thank you for the question, Rosemary. Jeff Rook wants to know, when was the last time a player lived up to the recruiting hype the way Will Johnson has? That is legit. He's a special player worthy of the new number 2 jersey. But you say no players worthy of the number 2 jersey.
Hey, that's my guy. Okay, Will Johnson go win the Heisman Trophy. Okay, he wear that number. And I know they put away so many jerseys. I really don't care. My man won a Heisman Trophy. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame, NFL Hall of Fame. But Will Johnson has lived up to the hype. Mm-hmm. Will Johnson is a dude. When he walks around, he moves like Charles Woodson. I watch him just like Wood like that. I mean, so he does some amazing things. I am highly impressed. They do a great job coaching. And to me, he takes coaching to the field. I watch the things he does, his technique, his fundamentals, all those things. I'm very impressed with how he handles himself and the things he does. So yes, he's deserving, but I'm just prejudiced from man number two. There's only one number two. That number two should never be walking on that football field. I'm sorry.
All right, let's go back to the questions. This one, Let's Toast Media says, Vance, do we have a national championship defense to beat Georgia?
Not a doubt in my mind. Of course we do. We we're different this year. And the thing that my man Tennessee Hall said, the mental toughness that we have right now, this is a different football team. The whole approach is different than what we were a year ago. We understand now what we have to do to stay focused, no distractions, and what we have to do, take nobody for granted. Oh yeah, our defense is ready to play this year. And I'll tell you what, so on that 2-minute drive, when we get intercepted, I'm texting, getting low, please get low. I know they couldn't block it. And we got pressure on an interception. We got great pressure. I mean, so again, the schemes that we have this year, we have even more things this season defensively. Like I said, we got more bullets in the gun this year than we had last year.
All right, I agree. I agree. This team is there. I think personally, I think the biggest difference in the team is JJ. JJ was not 100%, and man, he just made plays, man.
Remember, I told you, I said, if JJ plays well, we gonna win the ball game. And he played well. We won the ball game.
And what I like if someone asks a question, I'll get to it. Let me go ahead and skip to it real quick. It was talking about the month off after the Big Ten championship game. Rob Smith said, I hate the month off. Said, Vance, what did you do as a coach to keep your guys ready for a bowl game? You know why I love the month off? Because it gives you a chance to get players like JJ. Hell, anybody who got bumps and bruises, it gives you a chance to heal them up and get them ready for prime time. Right? I mean, give me that over playing right away. You coach, though. I'm curious. I do want to hear.
We're on the road recruiting, Sam. We're on the road recruiting. The strength coach had them. We're getting them healthy. We keep them in condition. At the same time, they're getting ready for finals. So they got to have time for that also. And with Lord, a lot of times we would go down early. Like the year we went to the Rose Bowl, we went down a week and a half early. We went through 2 days. So we got them back in the football mode because you're recruiting. You're on the road. You got to replace the next guy. The old adage is going to college, you know what the college call it? College school of passing through. It used to be 4 years. Now it's 3 years. It's a school of passing through. A good player, he's there for 3 years. He don't pass through, get another one. So you got to find another Will Johnson. You got to find another Mike Barrett, a Colston, a Mikey. You got to find another one of those guys. So you're on the road. So the strength coach and the trainer, they're doing conditioning. They're getting the guys healthy again. They're in the room. They're watching video of the opponent, stuff like that.
All right. Let's go back to the questions for Vance Bedford. Let's move back up. This one goes to, let's see. Mark T says Ryan Day equals James Franklin with better talent. You agree with that analogy?
You guys on Ryan Day something else. No, James Franklin not in the same category as Ryan Day. Ryan Day's a better coach, but you can't give him credit for. I mean, let's go back to last year. People gonna really get mad when I make this comment. He was a field goal away from winning a national championship, guys. Now he wasn't fit to beat Michigan, but his offense was fit to beat Georgia because of how Georgia plays. Think about what he did. They went up and down the field on Georgia. Field goal away, because they'd have beaten the brakes off of TCU. His field goal away from winning it all, guys. So he had an offense built not to win the Big Ten, but to win a national championship. But he didn't realize I had to go through Michigan. I had to go play in November in cold, windy, or wet weather against a Michigan team that's going to punch you in the mouth. When you go to the playoffs, you're in a warm weather place. His offense is built for warm weather. So he didn't build his team the right way. Win the Big Ten first to go to the next level. So now Ryan Day, James Franklin, it's not close.
All right. Keep it rolling. Petey Mack said Ryan Day equals John Cooper.
Ooh, pretty close. Pretty doggone close. That's why I keep him there. Just keep him there. He'll figure it out when they push him out the door. Then it's too little, too late.
So Jay Marion wants to know: do y'all think Ryan Day is hoping for an NFL college team gets him out of Columbus? So I
He
do.
don't know NFL. Are you kidding me? And
Why not?
Texas A&M is for Ryan Day in the NFL. Man, give me a break.
That's where he came from.
He's a college coach. He's right where he's a college coach. He's not going anywhere.
Okay.
And it's not another college job open. I mean, I'm still surprised that the guy from Oregon State went to Michigan State, but I just heard he was only making $2 million, so he's probably gonna make about $5 there. I mean, but Michigan State gonna always be little brother.
$2 million at Oregon State?
I think 2 million, 2.5.
Really?
That's why he left. It's about money. You think about it. Nick Saban left Michigan State for one reason. Why? He was always gonna be little brother. Don't kid yourself. So my man coming to Michigan State, he's gonna be little brother again. It's not gonna ever change. It's like, hey man, hey boy, don't wear my shoes. You got my shoes on? Boy, I told you not to wear my shoes. It's not gonna ever change.
Blue-eyed bandit. Hey man, I'm an Eric Sermon fan. Not to look ahead. Said well, it's green-eyed bandit with Eric Sermon, but still. Not to look ahead. Michigan and Oregon match up in the Rose Bowl would be spectacular. How do you think that one will go?
That's a tough matchup for us because of remember the small problems we had with up tempo against Maryland, against even versus Ohio State had some up tempo. Guess what Oregon does almost every snap. That's not necessarily a matchup I want to see. That's going to be major adjustments because they go fast. And they have an athletic quarterback. When they run RPO, the quarterback's a runner. It's not like Ohio State guy who really is flag and pass. It's a tough matchup for us. Now, we get him a third down, it's a different thing. I know the OC there is Will Stein. He was a player for us at Louisville, became a GA. When we went to Texas, he was a GA for us. So he's an aggressive play caller. It's not the matchup I want to see, but can we beat them? Yes, we can. It's not the matchup I want to see.
Yeah, Adam Shepardson said TCU last year. You think you see any similarities?
No, it's a whole different defense. Last year, defensively, we broke that down last year. And I said 2 things will happen. Don't run the A and B gap. Remember I said that last year, Sam? What gap we kept trying to run in the whole ball game?
Yeah.
And guess what happened to us? And then we on the hash throwing an outcut to the guy who won the Jim Thorpe Award. To me, we went into that game. This is my opinion after the game. We didn't show TCU a lot of respect because they come from the Big 12. And because of that, we lost that ball game. Now, they had played 9 other times. Michigan would have beaten them 9 times. But you don't get those overs that way. Oregon is a lot better football team. They're bigger. They're more physical. The offensive line is about 310. They're athletic. They got a quarterback that's athletic. And the up-tempo thing makes me nervous.
All right. Back to the questions. Got time for a few more here. Rory Calhoun says, hi, Sam. Congrats on a great show. Thank you for that, Rory. I hate to look ahead, but when we play an SEC team, the past Michigan teams got out-schemed by Georgia. I think they got out-talented by Georgia.
Thank you. Thank you.
We bite on the run, and they throw the pass, touchdown. Before you know it, they're up 14 and 21 points. You need to go back. Listen, man.
No, we didn't. You know what happened again? They went empty. People don't forgot that. Georgia came out, went empty, bunch of 3-step drop. They kept cutting our defensive linemen, throwing the ball out quick. They moved the ball right down the field. They went at supposedly our strength. They took full advantage of it because we hadn't seen that. Listen, no, we didn't get beat on practice and pass. We got beat on empty.
Hey, man, they did hit them with a whole lot of RPOs. Everything was quick.
But that's, again, guess what Oregon runs?
Mm-hmm.
That's about why I'm concerned.
Yeah. All right. And so this kind of piggybacks off that question. It says, what potential playoff team poses the biggest threat? And also, should we rest Will Johnson for the Big Ten championship to get him healthy? Jerry Welch, those are 2 great questions. So of all the playoff teams out there, potential playoff teams out there, who do you think poses? Let's start there. Who do you think?
But Oregon has to win it first. Okay. But if Washington beat Oregon, well, you're going to sit the quarterback on throw the ball 45 times a game. Oregon will run it more. Oregon has a better defense. Washington's defense is not very good. Our offense can score on Washington's defense. Oregon has a better defense. If Florida State somehow gets in, they beat Louisville and they get in, they don't have a quarterback. I don't see them being a threat. They play good defense. They got great wide receivers. They lost their quarterback. So I don't see them as a threat. Georgia is still play good defense, good offense. Their best player is back 85%. Bauer's a tight end. Okay, the quarterback's playing better. We fit up perfectly with them. They're a lot like a Big Ten football team. They do some RPOs, don't get me wrong, but they play more ball like us. But Oregon is probably the toughest matchup. And my biggest thing is this. If Will Johnson is 80%, he's playing. Because you'll have a month off. You got a month off to get ready for the next game, so he has time to get healthy. My thing is, if he's healthy enough to go out there and play, put him out there. If he's not healthy enough, then don't play him. But resting people, you arrest your people, end up not going anywhere. You be going home like everybody else to a mediocre bowl.
But less than 80%, you rest him.
If he's less than 80%, he can hurt us. He's on the sideline.
Tyler W said, "Will Sam be at the Rose Bowl?" Man, of course, man, Tyler. I think you've been around for a minute, man. I think you know me. Will I be there? Come on, man. Come on, bro.
If they're in Houston, if you come to Houston, I will be there.
Yeah. All right. Vance, most surprising to you, the way the secondary shut down Ohio State's receivers, the kicking and special teams flawless play, or 3, that Ryan Day got out coached? What surprised you the most? That's from Lama Bryant.
Ryan Day got out coached. How in the world would a veteran coach get out coached? As you saw my Twitter, you use my term in your show, substitute teacher. He got beat by a substitute teacher, and he a professor? Really? Really? Because that affects your special teams, your play calling, and everything else. Because as the head coach, offensive coordinator, he didn't move 18 around enough to get open. That's a lack of coaching. He got flat out coached. Just that simple.
Folks, listen. Big Ten championship. Just give me your take, your winner and your score of this game. What you think the keys to this game against this matchup with Iowa will be, Vance, and we will call it a day.
For our defense, we need to get a couple takeaways. Be alert for trick plays. They're gonna come up in 22 personnel, play action pass you. Just to be smart. We do what we're supposed to do on defense. We hold them to 9 points. Offense, when you get a chance, take your shots. Take your shots. They're gonna blitz us. They zero blitz. They either quarter, half. They match up. So we got a motion, get some tandem splits, so we can get guys open. They don't have an answer for Loveland. Loveland's my guy. They don't have an answer for him. He's the guy that can have another big game for us. We should win this game probably 31-9, in my opinion. But we cannot turn the ball over to give them hope. They should be hopeless the whole ball game because we're not turning the football over. 31-9.
Harvey Norwood stuck one in and said, Vance, how do you think we would match up with Texas in midseason? Oregon and Texas are 2 teams I didn't want to play.
I know one thing. Don't run duo versus Texas. You run duo, you're going to go home. My man in there, 360 pounds. You can't knock him off the ball. So stay away from those guys. Get on the edge if you're going to play against Texas. And then throw the football in their secondary. Their secondary, I'm a DB coach. I played at Texas, and we had a bunch of ballers come out of there. I got question marks about the secondary. They got a great linebacker. He wearing my number 41 forward. See, 41's a good number. That was my number. Finally got a guy who lived up to who I was in college, okay? But Oregon is probably, again, I'm going back to up-tempo spread. That's probably our toughest matchup is Oregon because I also play good defense. But the head coach is a risk taker. A risk taker against Michigan, you beat them every single time.
Mm-hmm. Lamont wants me to ask about how do we replace Mikey next year? I think we're kind of seeing who the early candidate is, number 18.
Yes, you do. I think you're starting to see that. Let's go back to when Mikey first started playing back there. I'm like, I don't know. Because the year before, our guy was a 2nd-round pick. I'm like, they got a receiver playing nickelback. He doesn't look like he's very instinctive. He got better and better. He's ball game. Well, when you're at Michigan, with Lloyd Carr going back to Bosa Buck used to say, it's about the people who wore the number and position before you. The expectation is for the position. Therefore, Mikey will be missed, but the next guy and the guys around him will step up to replace Mikey.
Folks, that's going to do it for this edition of the Michigan Football Breakdown. I want to remind you, listen, if you need a way down to Indy and you want to have a party on the way down and the way back, you can get on the Devin Gardner bus trip,
Coming
championship
from America.
tour. Head on down there with our friends from Golden Limo. Get the details at goldenlimo.com. He's going to be doing chalk talks or greaseboard talks, signing autographs, answering questions, full access to DG on his luxury motor coach luxury bus tour going down to the Big Ten championship game or Saturday morning and coming back Saturday night. Again, you get more details over at goldenlimo.com. Until tomorrow, when you'll see the film studies. Be sure to check that out. Oh, by the way, got to remind you, on the Dropping Dimes episode tomorrow with Devin Gardner and Daniel Horton, our special guest will be Will Johnson himself, the all Big Ten first team member, is going to join us. We'll have him break down that interception play. We'll have him talk about what they were saying on the field. So you're going to hear from Will 2J or Will2Johnson.com himself. So be on the lookout for that. That's tomorrow at 3 o'clock. He's going to join us on that show. Last but not least, this is the last day of the 75% off over on the MichiganInsider.com. Don't miss out because this really is the last day. It really is. So if you want to be in on the transfer portal news and recruiting news and all the intel that goes on with Michigan, get over on the MichiganInsider.com for 75% off an annual deal. As always, folks, we appreciate your time. We'll see you coming up on the film studies. Thanks for watching another edition of the Michigan Football Breakdown. Focus.
What's that sound? Hold on. Let me get another sound. Sound. Hold on. How many of that? Two? Yeah. Oh, sound. Yeah, baby. All the way from lovely Colorado.
We'll see you next time, folks. Thanks for watching another edition of the Michigan Football Breakdown, focused on the defense with Vance.
Go blue. Go blue, baby.